This video is about the five semi-natures of logic's complete identity of volume. These are five semi-natures of sequence nature. An identity nature is a sequence nature. Note, a physical identity is a identity nature complete with all the complete identities of the body sharing a semi-nature relationship to this complete identity. And so each complete identity is simultaneously a semi-nature with grouped and with species bond, simultaneously in demonstration to and as the value of valuing grouped species and individual. Valuing individual, when we're valuing them simultaneously, we are valuing individual, grouped, and progressively. Species, nature, or volume simultaneously. When we are not doing it simultaneously, we are valuing groups and are valuing species, nature, or volume more as negative value nature. When you're valuing species as positive nature, that means you're valuing it simultaneously. What is individual value, group value, and species nature bonded value? See, but we've had since some ancient time maintained the racketeering that knew that method, that knew that they could get people maintained needing to value the species and grouped as negative value nature. Whereas in our accounts too, where all physical values are attached to our fact treatment nature, where we're speaking, where everything's invisible but still discernible value. That's wanted, understood. So the five semi-natures of logic, as five semi-natures of sequence, are sequence true, is the order to the active, the order to the inherent. The order to the active is the third sequence, third semi-nature. The order to the to and as the value of the progressive nature of volume we are, and to and as the complete identity of volume we are. We are only complete as a semi-nature. Further, as these bonded five semi-natures, how they are bonded is one identity of value progression self-generating in relationship to and how it is semi-natures two ways, as three ways, distinctly and non-distinctly the same way, and distinctly and non-distinctly as five ways. In other words, the Trinity is about this, because sequence came before us, and there is the sequence nature of what comes after us that is already valued now with our Trinity, with and as the value of the inherent, the active, and the progressive. So the five bonded semi-natures are sequence true, the order to the inherent, the order to the finite, the order to the active, the order to the progressive, the order of the progressive, and the order of the, not just the order of it, because this is values course by identities. Identity's complete nature, and not just like our species are complete nature the same way each individual is a complete identity of volume simultaneously as a semi-nature in physics and in metaphysics. And this is in demonstration too of their bond with and as the value of identity's complete nature of relationship to itself, which is again distinctly and non-distinctly two ways onto the two-way semi-nature, three ways, which is always, in other words, inherent, active, and progressive. We'll examine this. The extent of it, the extent slash S of it, one identity of value, progression, perfect, is inseparable from all questions. This is why we question why. This is algebraic consciousness. The 26 sounds of the English language were revealed with an identity of relationship to themselves, also in demonstration of the same exact thing. Each individual grouped, the letters have individual, grouped value, consonants, vowels, and they have their entire value together. And Y is always value completely to us. But we can either be the complete nature of relationship to our nature's complete nature or not, positive unto itself, which is the value of the top of the Z, which forces more and more forever nature gathered here, as there is simultaneously distinct or non-distinct value difference to the rest of space nature, which is one identity's identity of relationship to itself. Most probably because we are closer to the greatest inherent nature or volume of that which is invisible but still amounting volume discernibly by science. Only the extent of it is debatable, but we have the extent slash S of it being debated by each of the sciences, recorded not by accident, with criminally foreign influence, quality of premise treatments, quality of sequence treatments, natures, quality of progressions value treatments, quality of market value treatments. See, now these are markets are in a value nature system because the values nature system is forcing that. So it can show what's going to cause positive or negative value nature progressions. Since before modern religions, forced self-valued was roles with an abridged quality of fact treatment nature that was maintained self-valued because everyone was hurt, forced, tricked, persuaded to entertain. Natures of education roles as identities of the law in reaction to, for example, needing to counter predicate acts they didn't understand the motivations for. And when they so they're blaming groups wrong. This is exploiting how our nature actually works. This is exploiting logic. Actual course. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a police force. I'm not a criminal. The branches of government individually grouped and together are involved with private racketeering, with every identity ground location tied to database, tied semi but completely maintained criminally foreign influence, self-valued roles with this. And so we'll examine. I tell it best. So we also have the military recorded experiments and abuses of military medically, which they want to debate criminally through criminal foreign influence, for example, by hiding how they're using that to exploit private citizens. So that, in other words, they don't have the integrity to have people that are in a ranking structure originally instill criminally foreign influence, racketeering roles with former director of the FBI and with other nations, foreign and domestic military police, their family members involved with racketeering uses of the Trade Center since before the attack and since, and as their racketeering uses of the investigators of it, and of all processes involved with racketeering, and then pretending to counter all the negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures tied to it, maintained by it progressively, inherently, actively, progressively. All kinds of sequence nature racketeering as identity value. Racketeering, identity racketeering is what used color with the fact cheaping nature racketeering and slavery against our founders. They stole our founders' identities. In our face, they have it stolen, forced, glorified. Now, how they're pretending not to realize this is how the branches of government individually grouped and together maintain racketeering uses already of databases stacked with lies and with illusions, and with the couplement of that already having been, so them already having acted sequence shifts, finite, active, progressive, and other identity lies, and fake sides of quality of fact, cheaping nature's trinity. You know, it's not just this is binary with physical delusions as criminal foreign influence is juxtaposed, because this is the trinity. which is only temporary positive, to show that I was making more temporary positive, or I mean lasting, temporary slash lasting positive or negative unceasingly. See how criminal insidiousness nature needs to make positive out of negative distinctly, as with logic from our nature with no criminal foreign influences, which is what are still being maintained when people answer questions about what Jim Crow laws were about. It's about what was already entrenched here since before our founders' births. Again, that made only capable of being people needing to react to negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures like criminal insidious natures. So these are a fact cheating nature racketeering too. So when people need to demonstrate facts of equality that are actually what are going to demonstrate what's going wrong. The only reason, for example, that we have problems with areas that had shooting for through decades in administrations is because we have intercampuses of each age and each nature involved with racketeering with the branches, maintained individually grouped and together crime methods, roles. Some motivations, nature's needs, interests, not by accident, valuing having value means to pretend not to realize their roles with the exploitation of each age from off campuses. Their uses of everyone's using interbranch. They help or hurt their kids both this way, and they simultaneously they can't afford to have how they already attach everyone. They attach the other kids and their own kids to fake locations to hide the lie progressions. Originally, still, we have all kinds of criminal. New Britain Superior Court is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with Hartford courts with racketeering uses of Facebook since before I was on the platform, with their roles with uses of CCSU with racketeering with other nations and right through administrations, worse than war crimes. We have the Coast Guard also involved with this racketeering. Racketeering uses of each age of fact cheating nature difference, like men, women, boys, and girls. We have logics experts really sick. CT is thick, too thick, but time to fall.